So most online fitness coaches will never ever scale past 5k a month, and it's not because they don't have enough clients or don't know how to get clients. It's simply because their offer is literally a commodity. And I've spoke to hundreds of online coaches, and the crazy part is they don't even realise it. After being in the online fitness space for years, I've seen so many profiles, niches, offers, ecosystems, and I keep seeing the same pattern over and over again. Coaches aren't underpriced because they want to be cheap, they're underpriced because they and their offer look exactly like every single other coach out there on the market. In this video I'm going to go over how looking like every other coach on the market is going to stop you from scaling past that 3 to 5k a month mark. I'm also going to go over how you can rebuild your offer to a one-of-one offer that allows you to actually charge premium rates and actually attract premium clients as well. So by the end of this video you'll learn how to actually increase your prices, simplify your business, and finally get past that income plateau that you're currently stuck in. Instead of posting endlessly, doing random tasks that you think are going to scale you and take it to the next level, but in reality they won't. So first of all, the main reason that you're actually stuck at 5k a month and can't scale past that is because the main bottleneck is that you're a commodity and you look like every other coach out there, as I've just said. Because you don't target / coach enough of a specific person. Most people and most coaches are just coaching women, men, 9-to-5 workers. That isn't specific enough, which means if you're not being specific, you can't speak about their problems. If you can't speak about their problems, you don't know what their problems are, which means your offer isn't going to solve a real problem. And when your offer doesn't solve a real problem, you just look like every other coach and you're going to have to charge a low price. Which means if you don't target a specific person, your content won't solve specific problems, as I've just said. And this means your offer is also going to be generic as well, like I've just said as well. So your offer is literally going to be based on the amount of work you're doing, and that's probably what your offer's like now. You've probably got different tiers, top tier being most amount of work, middle tier being a medium amount of work, and then the bottom tier being a low amount of work. And if it's like that, your coaching offer is so unscalable because your pricing is just based on the amount of work that you're doing. So let's look at this for example. You've got coach 1, coach 2 and coach 3. Coach 1 charges £125 per month, coach 2 charges £150 per month, and coach 3 charges £100 per month. Every one of these coaches has the same exact offer: lose fat, build muscle, no specific niche. Same here, same here. When your offer looks like every other product on the shelf, the only way you can actually be different is by lowering your price. So if you were to invest in any of these same coaching offers, you'd obviously invest into the one that's the lowest amount of money because it's the same exact offer. So the only way that you can actually be different in a crowded market of online coaches is by lowering your price. And this is the exact thing that's holding you back from scaling, because you're competing purely on your price, you're attracting bargain hunters, and you're attracting low quality clients who won't take your coaching seriously, which means they're not going to get the result that they actually wanted because they're not investing enough, because they're not investing enough to actually take your coach, because they're not investing enough to the point where they actually take your coaching seriously. So how do you actually scale past 5k a month? You simply increase your prices, but you obviously can't just go to your offer and edit the price. You need to do it in a certain way. So you need to define a specific ICP with purchasing power. You want to avoid targeting and trying to niche down to people who are just busy professionals, busy mums, or just anyone who wants to lose weight, for example. Those are way too broad, which again makes you look like every other coach, because every other coach is targeting these types of people, broad people. You need a narrow niche. It needs to be unique so that you can actually charge a higher price. So your real niche needs to have real underlying pain points. You need to identify an ICP that has real pain points. You can't be just targeting someone that has surface level pain points, because they attract low quality buyers. Examples of surface level pain are: I want to lose weight, I want a meal plan, I want to tone up. Those are so generic, and pretty much everyone who's looking for an online coach is looking for those things, which means you're going to have to charge a low price, and your offer is going to just be commoditized because you're coaching people that are very common within the space, which means you can't charge a higher price, which means your quality of client is going to be very, very low. So premium clients buy because of big pain, because of underlying real problems, real life problems, not just fitness problems. So they buy because of identity loss, they buy because of career pressure, they buy because of health scares, they buy because of social rejection like dating, confidence and appearance, and they buy because of emotional triggers, breakups, weddings, holidays. For example, people might want to get fit quick to go to a wedding to or to go on holiday with, because obviously when you're on holiday, you're going to have your shirt off if you're a boy, and might want a nice six pack or something like that. You need to be speaking about these problems and these underlying smaller problems, because speaking about these specific problems will allow you to actually charge more and scale easier. So a good example of a niche, this is just an example, would be entrepreneur men aged 20 to 40 looking to lose fat and gain the energy you need in order to take your business to the next level. This is absolutely perfect because it's specific, it's profitable, and it's targetable. What I mean by specific is it's entrepreneur men aged 20 to 40. We're very specific. It's profitable because entrepreneur men are more than likely going to be making more money than other people. So when you're targeting business owners, entrepreneurs, executives, you're going to be able to actually charge a higher price and a premium rate, and they're actually going to be able to afford that, meaning you're going to get more clients, you're going to get no objections, and the sales process is going to be so fucking easy. And last of all, they're targetable because obviously you can speak about these problems and the problems that they have within your content, and that's all what targetable means. It means you're able to actually speak about them and target them within your content and your messaging and stuff like that. So then that takes us on to actually the offer itself. You need to build an offer around their real problems. So again, entrepreneur men aged 20 to 40 looking to lose fat and gain the energy they need in order to take their business to the next level. Their specific problems are going to be, like we went through, identity loss and erosion of self-respect. Entrepreneurial men often tie their identity to discipline, leadership, dominance, and capability. And when they gain weight or lose energy or are unfit, they feel like they're becoming the guy who talks big but can't control himself. They also start asking themselves, how can I lead a team if I can't even lead myself? This is going to create massive internal conflict. And when you're selling high ticket, internal conflict is what you want, because they're going to be battling with themselves in their head. Internal conflict is what drives high ticket purchasing. And another problem is that their body doesn't match their ambition. So entrepreneurs normally pride themselves on high standards, high outputs, quality, high goals, stuff like that. But physically they feel slower, they feel weaker, they feel less sharp, and they feel less confident. This mismatch creates a powerful emotional pain. My body is the bottleneck to my potential, for example. Another problem is that if they have declining energy, that means that their business performance is also going to be declining, because if they can't even look after themselves, if they can't get themselves in peak performance, then their business is also going to be performing bad because their energy is going to be low. So you're not just selling fat loss, you're selling the key to their business that actually performing. Entrepreneurs experience brain fog, afternoon crashes, inconsistent output, and reduced strategic thinking. Poor sleep equals poor decision making, and they actually have burnout cycles that negatively impact their business. So a deep pain statement of all of these problems would be that my performance is declining and I'm losing my edge, because when all of these things are declining, their business is going to be declining. Because as I said, you're not just selling fat loss or fitness coaching, you're selling the key to their business performing. When they're performing well, when they've got the energy, they're going to put that energy that they've created into their business, and that's going to help them scale their business. So it's one big cycle and one big effect. And your specific ICP needs to have problems like this, what you can actually put. And your ICP needs to have problems like this that you can press on to the point where they know your coaching is what they need. So these problems are what your offer is going to solve. This is what makes it unique. When you're solving a specific person's problems, obviously your offer is going to be unique because no one else is really going to be solving those problems, and that's what makes you different. When you're targeting everyone, everybody else is doing it. When you're targeting a specific, narrower niche, nobody else is going to be doing it, which means that's the thing that's going to actually allow you to charge a premium rate, increase your prices, make more money without doing any extra work. So to create your offer, and this is the structure you kind of want to follow, you want to obviously base it around their problems and their smaller problems. So the first thing you want to come up with is the unique mechanism. This is what's going to make you different and make your offer actually feel tailored and unique. So your offer must have a clearly defined system or framework that sets it apart from every other coach. This is what makes it a category of one. This is what makes your offer unique and makes your offer one of one. And it must directly show that the transformation and the outcome you're coaching actually has and offers. You don't want to be speaking about the deliverables people get. You don't want to be saying you get one-on-one calls, you get 24 access. That's stupid. Nobody wants that. People actually invest because they want the outcome. They want the results. So you need to be speaking about the transformation, and that's the thing that's going to help you get more clients. And so the second thing you want to do is obviously you want to be creating the deliverables around your offer. This is obviously like your one-on-one calls, the things that you offer to the client to get them that result. These need to be based on your client's problems. So you want to be actually working backwards. So let's say one of their main problems was, let's keep the example of the entrepreneur ICP. Let's say one of their main problems is actually timekeeping and obviously managing their time with going to the gym. They're busy, so they can't really manage to go to the gym. So one of the deliverables that you need to make is a tailored workout plan that is molded around their busy schedule to make sure they're still getting the results that they need. That's a brilliant example of a deliverable, a tailored workout plan that helps them actually stay fit and get in the shape that they want to get into whilst they're still busy and still managing work and their time and stuff like that. So you're not just offering generic workouts or check-ins, but actions that actually create real results in their life and for the entrepreneur ICP within their business as well. And then after that, you obviously need a service level that removes the friction. So this is going to be like your one-on-one calls and obviously your 24/7 messaging access and all of that kind of stuff. So you need guidance that ensures implementation so clients don't get stuck. Obviously, when you're on one-on-one calls, you're going to be helping them with the structure and what they need to do to get to where they want to be. They need accountability, they need support or coaching that directly prevents them from burning out or hitting plateaus. This is obviously a very crucial part, and this is a non-negotiable of an offer. You obviously need one-on-one calls and they need to be able to access you at all times just in case they have any problems or anything like that. And then obviously this is an important part as well, emotional and identity transformation. The offer must actually connect deep to the emotional drivers, so it must connect to their confidence, their energy, leadership presence, self-discipline. These are all examples of the entrepreneur coach, but it needs to just be emotional and an identity transformation. You need to be positioning your offer as an actual transformation. Like I was saying earlier, you don't want to be speaking and mentioning about the things that they get within your offer, like one-on-one calls, 24/7 access, stuff like that. You need to be showing and positioning your offer as a transformation and an outcome, not just the things that they get when they pay for your coaching. And then once you've got an offer that just solves your ICP specific problems, obviously you want to actually price it. I'm going to keep this simple because this should be simple. If you've done all these things, your offer solves a specific problem, you're targeting a specific ICP, your pricing should be between 1k to 2.5k for a 3-month program. So let's say you charge 1.5k and you've got someone on a sales call and they're saying that it's too much. One, that they shouldn't be saying that. That means if you're getting people on calls that are saying it's too much, they can't afford it, that means it's something to do with your content and your positioning. That means you're positioning your offer completely wrong. And number two, if you genuinely are targeting the people you need to be targeting, your niche is dialed in, and your offer actually solves their specific problems, and you get an objection that it's too expensive and the offer's too much, then you can do a split pay over the 3-month period. So like I said, if you're charging 1.5k, for example, what you can do is you can say, all right then, what we can do is we can do 500 every month for 3 months. This is just going to be a bit more lenient, and it's perfect if people can't actually afford the full 1.5k there and then. So premium buyers don't purchase 12 weeks, they purchase identity shift. They want to become someone new, they want energy, confidence, and they want a better self-image. They also pay for speed. Faster results equals higher willingness to pay. They also pay for certainty. So they want a proven framework that actually works, they want clear milestones, and they want clear expectations to what your offer is actually going to get them. They also purchase the emotional cost of staying the same. So what it costs to them not to solve the problem. This is what you need to be speaking about within your content and especially within your sales calls. You need to create the gap between where they are now and where they want to be, and you need to make it absolutely massive to the point where your coaching is literally the only solution to their problems and to their goals. So premium clients buy emotional transformation, not workouts. So all you need to scale past 5k per month is you need to just fix your niche, you need to clarify the urgent emotional reason they buy, you need to build your unique method and your system, and then you raise your prices accordingly. And what I mean by accordingly is you need to do it realistically. Obviously, if your niche is correct, you're targeting a profitable, specific, and targetable niche, and your offer actually solves that niche of specific problems, you can't be charging 10k for 3 months, for example. It needs to be something realistic, and it needs to be something accordingly to your niche. If you're targeting business owners, you might be able to charge a little bit more. If you're charging busy professionals but a bit more specific, then you might only be able to charge a little bit lower, but obviously a bit more than you're charging at the moment, for example. So if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something from this video, and if you think this will help you scale to the next level, and you've got any questions or anything like that, just pop over to my Instagram. The link is in my description. I'm more than happy to help out, have a chat, see where you are in your business, and see if I can give you some value. I'm not a high pressure sales guy. I'd rather have a genuine chat, get to know the people I'm messaging and who are viewing my videos, and see if I can lead with value and help you out. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you want to implement this system without you having to do it all by yourself, you want a bit of guidance yourself, go over to my Instagram, give me a DM. We'll take a deeper look into your business to see if I can genuinely help you out.